Hi, I'm Stuart Forrest. I'm the CEO of Triggerfish Animation, and I'm just going to talk today about some of the decisions that we've made over the last 27 years of being in business that have led us to really, I think, come to the next level and become leaders in our field, especially from the African continent. So the title is How Dubious Business Choices Helped Us to Build a Global Media Company. And sorry, I'm going to say that again. So the title is How Dubious Business Choices Helped Us Build a Global Digital Media Company. Along the way, I've made a lot of poor decisions, or decisions that by any kind of standard of business would have been not good risk-reward investments, but these things have turned out really well in the end. So I'll take you through some of the choices we made, and at the end, a little bit about how they turned themselves around into something quite special. So I've been CEO of Triggerfish since I joined in 2004, and I've been running it for the last nearly 20 years now. So the first choice apart from studying fine art, which was everybody kind of said, why don't you go and study something where there's actually a career? I chose to study fine art, and then I chose to go into animation, which in South Africa, there was no industry. There was really nothing much to do. We did a few commercials, and then which made some money, but then we chose to go with doing more long form type stuff, which made no money. And the earlier work that we did was for Sesame Street, and it was when Sesame Street asked us to provide animation for Takalani Sesame, which is the local version in South Africa. And they asked us to go out and find characters from the world that we lived in. And we went around and found these crafts that people were making, and we made them into animated films. It wasn't making much money. It's preschool. It's kind of, Sesame Street is not a big money spinner, but it was lots of fun, and we did that for quite a few years, and we learned a lot about working with consultants in New York, and also working with local artists from the street in Cape Town. And we developed a style of being able to work with local people, but also make sure that we're bringing their raw experience to a international stage by bringing in internationals who had a better idea of what the market wanted. So the next choice we made is we stopped doing service work, and we decided to create our own content. There was no precedent for people making money making films. There was no precedent for people making animated feature films in South Africa or in Africa. And it was just a labor of love that we had these stories, we wanted to tell them. We stopped everything, we let go of all our clients, and we started making these feature films. We made 2 films, one after the other. Then you realize that they don't actually just make money instantly, and went back to doing, we had to go back to doing some service work after that. Then after those were finished, we just produced another 5 passion projects, all of them barely making a profit, but we're having a lot of fun building a team, enjoying being with the team, and winning a lot of awards. These projects were for BBC One Christmas specials, and we ended up getting multiple BAFTA winners and an Academy Award nomination. So we really had a lot of fun. But after 5 years of doing that, we realized we actually needed to do a bit more with the business. Um, and the other dubious choice was running a very expensive program that we call the Story Lab, which went out to the continent of Africa looking for new creators who could bring an idea for a TV series or a feature film. And this was really a huge undertaking. Fortunately, we did have Disney on board, and we ended up taking the short list. We had 1,400 applicants, and we took the top, I think, 8 to Los Angeles, and we did workshops with them. Disney were great at helping do workshops with everyone and developing their story concepts and making it as commercial as possible. But it cost us a lot of money. The next one was starting a free academy. We have always had a problem with training in South Africa. There wasn't much of an industry, so we had to do a lot of the training ourselves. We worked with other training institutions, but we put together a foundation that would go out to stimulate just the awareness of animation in the country. And we created a documentary which we gave away for free just so that we could get people to understand what animation was. And then we got bursaries for a whole bunch of people that we could then draw on for the future. So our foundation borrowed money, raised money so that we could go and invest in the people in the who we wanted to work for us. Then we decided to make another feature film, which was another daunting task. We'd learned a lot more, so we had a lot more experience on what to do and what not to do, but that just made it harder. And then that film we released beginning of last year on Netflix. So all of these decisions that we made, choices along the way, I would not have made them had I had the insight into the business thinking that most people apply to the way that their companies work. All of them were very risky, and we have been very, very lucky. But taking those risks, not thinking maybe through the whole how it's going to end up, but just thinking about what we love doing and what we wanted to do has really made a huge difference to the way that we have established ourselves in the world. So some of the results, Mama K's Team 4, this came out of that Story Lab directly. Netflix picked it up, and that's been in production for the last 3 years. That'll come out this year and be quite a huge thing for our company because it's a big budget TV series set in a African country and really redefining the way the world sees African kids in a high school in Lusaka, Zambia. The creator is Malenga Mulandela. She's a journalist from Zambia who applied to our Story Lab, and we went up to Zambia. We did a lot of research. We've done workshops with people and writers to make sure that the writers were all African women who had experienced high school in Africa. The next result that's really worked out well is Kia. It's a TV series with Disney Junior and Hasbro E1. This will come out in a few months. The Kia was designed by Shagan Sampson, a Nigerian artist. And some of the writers that were on it were also connected to our other shows as well. The third result is something that came out of our foundation. We were talking about how we could stimulate animation more around the continent of Africa, and the idea of doing a whole lot of short films from different countries came up, and we pitched that idea to Disney, who was supporting our foundation at the time, and they pitched it to Disney Plus, who then loved it and gave us the full budget to make it. It's a very innovative project. It has 15 different creators from all over Africa, and the projects are, I can't show you much here, but Peter Ramsey is the executive producer. He's one of the directors of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and we've basically just finished 10 short films with each of those writers and creators from Uganda, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania. We've got Egypt and South Africa and Zimbabwe. So it's a very exciting project, but something that we wouldn't have even considered if we weren't actually working on the foundation, thinking about what the foundation could do. But it ended up to be one of our biggest projects. It's our biggest project that we've ever done at Triggerfish. Fourth result would be we just announced that we were one of the 9 studios to do a Star Wars Visions project. Again, this comes from having raised our profile through the projects that we won awards for and the style that we developed along the way. And this new one is in a very unique Triggerfish style. More things that we've picked up along the way is we've got a whole bunch of other stuff in development. We've got deals nearly in place with funding these. We've released a graphic novel. This was a feature film that we were going to make, but then Netflix came out with something quite similar, so we converted it into a graphic novel. Again, probably not the best business decision, but now we have something that is going to form the basis of a live action film as well and launch our live action business. And then we've got quite a few other projects just in different stages, short films that we've produced and directors that we've supported. And it all comes together to help us create an ecosystem of people that have that we can work with and continue to create content with. And then there's the Academy, which started as a way to just help fill the gap between with the training. That's now looking like we are starting to be able to sell some of the courses, so that's becoming a bit more profitable. And as we go forward, we've got a great market base now that we can develop further into potentially becoming a business that has some economic merit, as well as just being a thing that's there to help people understand what we do. We now have crew all over the world. We work remotely with a lot of them. We have a base in Ireland and a base in Cape Town, and the rest of the people remote work in. We've got people in South America, North America, Asia. We even had someone in Antarctica for a few weeks when they went down for a different reason. But we can say we really are global and are working in every continent. That's all from me. I think the takeaways is, yes, we've been really lucky. We've made some decisions that normally could have gone really wrong. We could have lost everything over and over and over again. But I think that when you focus on the bigger mission, what we wanted to do was tell stories, to bring stories from a country and a continent where the stories have not been told. And I think that became the heart of our mission. And everything we did, we weren't worried about, are we going to make money out of it? It was just, are we going to be able to is it going to do something for our mission? And by having a strong mission at the front and not a business plan, we've actually exceeded our expectations on what kind of a valuable company we would have built. So that's the lesson for me. I would never have planned the company the way it is now, but by just leaning into the mission, we've managed to achieve something quite extraordinary. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed.